So the immense amount of just pure chinense and super hot aroma coming from this pepper right now. Now, a lot of times you can't smell the pepper, the heat. This thing, I can smell it. All I did was wash it, and I can smell the aroma just protruding from this pod. Again, look at the bumps. I mean, it almost looks like that's like the back, and their little fins kind of coming up. Look how gnarly and bumpy that thing is. This is a crazy chili. So, it's been a long time since I've been nervous to eat a fresh pod. But I'd be lying to you if I told you I wasn't today. This pepper right here is an unknown Brazilian pod. This was grown by Tomas Spillane, and I reached out to him, because this one stuck out to me in the box immediately. The color, it's a chocolate pod, but it's more burgundy and reddish color. So it stuck out to me, and I immediately reached out to him and was like, "What is this?" And he said unknown. He said he got the seeds from a friend or somebody in Brazil. So I don't know how that happens. I don't know how you get seed. I mean, I understand it, but like I feel like you would ask what the pod is or whatever. But I mean, I'm not knocking it. I just who knows? But the guy that he got the seeds from might not know either. It might have just been an accidental cross of sorts. I don't know. So we're going to call it the unknown Brazilian. Yeah. All right, well, the time has come. Wish me luck. He's stuck in my throat. It's getting stuck. Let's give it a second. It's going to be hard to come back to finish that, but the amount of saliva and cotton mouth going on inside my throat right now is second to none. This is definitely one of the hottest peppers I've ever eaten. At least it's starting to feel that way. It's hard to swallow. My throat is it's just really hard to swallow, really hard to talk. Starting to get a little lightheaded, a little dizzy. Heavy whiskey chest. Could feel my heart pounding. For the birds. That's it. Again, my tolerance is up pretty high. That was a pepper burp. And a little came up. I swallowed it back down. The stomach is doing great. It's just, it's super hard to swallow this saliva back down. So I can feel it in the ears now. It's still rising. It's got me rubbing the thighs. Once I get the throat thing figured out and eased up, we'll be good. It's a heavy throat burn. Front of the mouth, back in here. I can feel it in my ears. Every time I talk or breathe in or out, it's just, you can feel that pain right there, that burn. My eyes are fucking watery. Like, little happy tears. That was a big one too. That was a big pod. It was at least that big. About that fat up at the top. I'm dizzy. In a safe way, in a good way. Keep licking my lips. I can now feel it in the stomach. Starting to get there. Not unhappily, but I can feel it now. Settling in up there. Oh, there we go. Normally one pepper burp. That's the third, fourth one already. The taste, I couldn't even tell you. I can't remember. I really can't. I mean, it was a little bitter in a good way. A little smoky. Not floral at all. Not fruity, not citrusy, not earthy. The heat on this pepper and the burn on this pepper was just so intense and heavy. And it wasn't, if that pepper had been floral, like that red skunk was, it would have been even harder. This pepper's hotter than that red skunk. But I'm not struggling as much because I prepped better for this pod. but the taste of this was so much better that it makes it easier because it's more enjoyable. I'm a big, I really think that the flavor of pods affects the overall how hot and how hard it's going to burn someone. Because if you're not liking the taste, at least a little bit or somewhat, it's going to make that burn that much harder, in my experience, in my opinion. I'm talking real weird because the roof, the gums up here, it's like it's hard to move. It's like my mouth is stuck in this, like, that position, and moving my lip up here, like crunching it and cringing it, is like uncomfortable, kind of. Like I feel like my lips are swollen. Like this might be swollen up in here. Because the burn now is like all above my two front teeth up here. Just all in that part. Like see how I'm pushing down like that? I've been doing that in this video for the past few minutes. I don't know why. Now the throat burn is easing up. I'm not too dizzy anymore. Still a little lightheaded. Good endorphin dump over the past couple minutes kicked in, where I feel elevated. Not shaken, and I don't have like a super head rush. But my from like my titties up, I feel floaty. I feel elevated a little bit. Mostly up in here though, a lot. But the cotton mouth and the amount of capsaicin oils and everything that I'm swallowing back down has drastically dissipated. It's much easier to talk now and swallow. But this whole thing going on right here now, that's a new one for me. I don't know. It almost feels like my gums up there are swollen. Like they feel puffed out, and I'm like pushing on it with my lip, with my whatever this is called. I can still feel my heart racing. Can still feel it burn right in here, like whiskey chestage a little bit. I can feel it move down in the stomach now. It's all on the top of the stomach, but it's settled down a little bit too now. But still, the stomach's holding up fucking really good, which was worrying me. I think I was, I'll be honest with you guys, I think I was nervous about this pepper. One, because of the way it looked. Two, because it was unknown. So I went into this completely blind. Like no cross information. You know, sometimes on a cross, even if you can't find the cross Scoville or a review or something on that, you can usually take the parents to the 2 cross of that pod, get those Scovilles and kind of get an idea of where that cross should kind of be. Maybe, right? At least an idea. So that you're mentally in your head, no, okay, well. But just looking at that pepper, I knew it was going to be, brutal and a tough one. But I think I was also nervous because the last couple big super hots that I've done, mainly that red skunk, that thing just, it put me down. It was a tough pod to finish. It stayed down, and I had cramps though for a while. I didn't prep super good for it because I didn't anticipate it to be what it ended up being. But I think that was partly why I was nervous also for this one too. But we're doing great now. Overall, that was a good, solid pepper, man. That is a wicked one. That is up there in a top 10 for sure, hottest pepper I've ever eaten. I mean, that's up there with that red skunk. That's up there with a chocolate bootla. It's up there with a Carolina Reaper. A couple Carolinas I've had was super wicked hot. It's up there with a chocolate Primo Tally and a red Primo Tally. It's up there with the California Reaper. It's up there. What else? It's up there with like a White Knight. That Chocolate Apocalypse Scorpion. Amnesias get up there. There's another one right on tip. I'm forgetting. The couple ones I had from Brandon Joy last season, some of his own crosses. I'd have to look back at the name of that particular pepper. I can picture it, but that's a top 5 for me. This is in the middle of the top 10 range. This is in that 7-8 range of hottest peppers I've ever eaten. Yeah, maybe closer to 5 or 6. Anyways, it's a long video, guys. So I'm gonna cut. Appreciate y'all watching. That was the Unknown Brazilian.